Yes, Namit, please go ahead. Ask your question.
Sir, so what does Hariom mean?
Okay. So, Hari. Hari means the one who protects. And Om is the mantra. So, what is the significance of this? Who is the protector? Who is the real protector?
Vishnu.
Let us understand that question. Let us understand that clearly. So, when we look at, for example, the food that we get, on the plate we get food. For example, let's say chapati and some palya. Who gave the food? Amma gave the food. Oh, Amma made the food. And by eating the food, what happens? This body is nourished. So this body is protected. So we may have a feeling that Amma made the food. Is it truly Amma? Yes, Amma also participated. But did Amma really make the food? The chapati, did Amma only make the whole chapati? In order to make the chapati, you need the wheat flour. From where the wheat flour came? It came from wheat. From where the wheat came? You may say it came from the shop. So did the shop fellow make it? No. He would say, I got it from the wholesaler. Did the wholesaler make it? No. He would say, no, it was given to me by the farmer. Now, when you go to the farmer, when you ask him, did you make the wheat? He would say, no, I only put the seed. I put the water. I removed what is not needed. I also had to take care of it. But so many things happened. Mother Earth gave a lot of nourishment. The wind helped. The small creatures helped. Sun God helped. So now, is it that only these things helped? Who is really giving the power to the sun? Who's giving that power to that creature? Who is really giving that energy in all these other things which are making this chapati to come to your plate? So when you see all this, one is connected to another. One alone is not sufficient. Amma alone is not sufficient. The shop fellow alone is not sufficient. Farmer alone is not sufficient. This entire chain, in a way, if you keep asking that question, okay, is it only these people? No. See, for example, there's a truck fellow. Truck fellow, if he hadn't brought, how could the warehouse fellow get it? Now, how did the truck itself come? Truck was designed and manufactured by some company. So like that, if you start tracing just in one simple chapati that you're eating, you will find all the existence come together. Is any one of them important? Each one is important. Each one's role is equally important. If that little worm hadn't carried a little grain of sand and brought it near that, let's say, the plant which was growing, some of the nutrients that the plant got wouldn't have come. So in a way, whether it is a small or whether it's a big thing, everything has come together to make that chapati happen. So when you look at all this, wouldn't it make you wonder, yeah, who really put all this together? How come all of it is so well happening? See, for example, if you have to just play some musical notes, you have to put simple song. Say a simple song like, it could be, say, some simple Saraswati Stotra. Does anybody know in Saraswati Stotra to sing? Who knows any Saraswati Stotra to sing? Aditya, Anita, do you know any Saraswati Stotra?
I know a bhajan.
Which one?
Namo Sharade.
Okay. Can you say it? Can you sing it?
Yeah, it's not a lengthy one. It may take some 2 minutes.
Please go ahead and sing it.
Okay. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade Mata. Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade Mata. Shri Vidya Jnana Pradayini Ma Shweta Vasane Kamalasini Shri Vidya Jnana Pradayini Ma Shweta Vasane Kamalasini Bhavabanjini Manaranjini Amba Vagishwari Mata Bhavabanjini Manaranjini Amba Vagishwari Mata. Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade Mata. Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade Mata. Krupalini Jagatarini Ma Pratiphala Bhava Sukhadayini Krupalini Jagatarini Ma Pratiphala Bhava Sukhadayini Bhavadaya Sagari Manamohini Amba Vishweshwari Mata Bhavadaya Sagari Manamohini Amba Vishweshwari Mata. Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade, Namo Sharade Mata. Namo Sharade Mata. Namo Sharade Mata. Namo Sharade Mata.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Namit. So you see, just in that little song, there are so many notes. And Namit had to remember all the notes, remember the lyrics, and had to put it together just for that simple song. So now I've requested Aditya to bring his flute. He'll play a short line. Let's listen to this also. Can you tell what you're playing?
So it's the Raga Bilahari, Rara Venu. That's the song's name. Yeah.
Thank you, Aditya. So you see, just for even a little thing, so many things have to be put together. Now imagine this whole cycle of you getting the chapati. Just the chapati, see how many kinds of things have to be put together. Here, if let's say one note is missed, or if one sound is missed, you'll feel it offbeat. You'll feel, oh, something is missing. It's not nice. It doesn't sound right. But now imagine this entire such a existence. So many little things have to happen. Millions of things. But they have to happen in a particular order, in a particular sequence, and for a particular time. And then only the results that you see like chapati, which you enjoy, happen, isn't it? So the great rishis, they contemplated, who is this who is really orchestrating this whole thing? How is this all happening? So when you take that question and when you go deeper into that question, and when you look within your own self, what is making this whole body function? What is making this mind function? So who is this who is asking all these questions? Like that, as you go deeper and deeper into your own self, you'll realize that what is making this function is making this whole thing also function. But this, what is that is making this function is not something that can be seen or not something that can be heard. Just for the sake of our discussion, there is a name, Atma Jyoti. But that Atma Jyoti is not a thing, is not an object. It is something that is like the space. Space you cannot see, but you are able to realize the space exists. How? Because you see so many things, and the things exist in the space. If there was no thing, we won't be able to see the space. We won't be able to realize the space. So in a way, you are not really seeing the space. You're only able to ascertain that objects exist in the space. Likewise, sound helps you become aware of the silence. If there was only silence, you wouldn't know the silence. Sound, absence of sound, you realize is silence, isn't it? But silence alone, you cannot experience. Space alone, you cannot experience. So like that, when you go deeper, you realize that you are this Chaitanya, this divine light, which is expressing through this mind and body and through all other various forms that you see in the existence. So this Chaitanya, for the sake of understanding, was called as Paramatma or Brahman. So this Brahman has various functions. The three main functions is creation, sustenance, and transformation. Creation, the God of creation. So this Brahman, think of it like the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, he is responsible for the whole country. Say, for example, he is responsible for the defense of the country. He is responsible for the various kinds of financial decisions in the country. He is responsible for how to protect people within the country. He is responsible for how to protect people in the border from others infiltrating. So like that, if you really look at the Prime Minister of the country, hundreds of things he is responsible for, including Swachh Bharat. But is it possible that, Modi only takes up the broom and comes to every street and clean it? Not possible. So therefore, he will have various divisions. He will have, say, Ministry of Defense. He will have Finance Ministry. He will have Social Justice Ministry. He will have Education Ministry. And he will appoint various ministers. Somebody will be taking care of defense, somebody finance, somebody education, somebody law and order. Like that, various things are given to different ministers. Likewise, this pure existence, this Brahman, expresses itself through different forms, through different powers. But all is Brahman only. Like how all the ministers report to Modi, all are Brahman only. So in that, the creation powers are called as Brahma. So the creation power is Brahma, the Chaturmukha Brahma, the one who has 4 heads, who is able to see and learn from all the sides. When can you create something in life? Only when you learn from all sides, from all people, isn't it? So that is what is represented as Chaturmukha Brahma. Who is the wife of Brahma? Saraswati. Why? Saraswati is the goddess of Vidya. Only when you have knowledge can you create something. When you don't have knowledge, you cannot create. So who is really Chaturmukha Brahma? Who is really Saraswati? Who is giving the power of Saraswati? Who is giving the power of Chaturmukha Brahma? It is that pure Chaitanya only, that existence only. Then comes what you create, you have to maintain, isn't it? In the house, for example, you have a nice house, but you have to maintain. Time to time, you have to clean it, time to time, paint it. All that department is Vishnu's department. Okay. So the creation department is Brahma. The maintenance department is Vishnu. So to maintain something, what you need? Money. So who is the wife of Vishnu? Lakshmi. What is their responsibility? To protect, to nourish. Then the department of transformation. Okay, something is young, it becomes old. In an old thing, sometimes it is not a good idea to keep on using that. You may want to replace it, transform it. All that is given to the department of Shiva. Who is the wife of Shiva? Parvati. Why? To transform, you need a lot of energy. So like that, this existence expresses itself through different powers. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. And among them, the protection part, that protection is the portfolio of Vishnu. Vishnu is the protector. What has been created has to be protected. And it has to be run with the right kind of administration. Let's say you have a book. If somebody comes and snatches the book, it is not a nice thing. They may be powerful. If they come and snatch, it's not a nice thing, isn't it? So some law and order, some kind of rules have to be followed. Like that, the universal rules are called as dharma. So this whole existence runs by a universal law called as dharma. What is dharma? That which protects you. When you follow that, you are naturally protected. Like for example, in the Indian road, when you are driving on the left side of the road, you are naturally, everybody will be following you if they are in the same direction. Your incoming traffic will be on the right side of the road. If say you become crazy and start driving on the right side of the road, you may end up having accident, isn't it? So you have to follow the law and order. Likewise, the universal law and order is called as dharma. For example, what you sow is what you reap, isn't it? If you put a chili seed, you get a chili plant. You put a mango seed, you get a mango plant. That is how nature works. If you are kind and considerate to others, they will also be kind and considerate to you. If you are harsh and insulting to others, that is a kind of treatment you will also receive, isn't it? So what you give to others is what you receive. Now, who has made that rule and how is that working? That is how the nature has been created. That is the dharma. So that dharma, that natural law and order, that natural way of life, universal law, is represented as Hari. Okay? So Hari means this entire existence and the natural law and order and the natural way in which all these wonderful things are happening is Hari, is the power of Brahman only, but is given the name of Hari. The one who protects is Hari. Then what is Om? See, Om in a way represents the whole of the existence. Om is made up of A, U and And these are the three audible sounds, audible syllables, something that you can hear. Om. So when you say that, it becomes Om, isn't it? Om. In that, A represents your ability to do things. See, when you say A, just notice where your body vibrates the most. It is mostly your lower part of the body. Ah. So it energizes your lower part of the body. What is your lower part of the body? Your legs. What do you use your leg for? To move, to run, to do things. Yeah, your limbs are representation for your ability to do things in life. Your Kriya Shakti. Ooh. When you chant Ooh, notice where your body vibrates the most. Mostly it is in and around your chest region. Ooh. So when you say, I am feeling very, very upset, I'm feeling very sad. Where do you show feeling? Here, isn't it? You say, I feel very sad. I'm very happy. Feeling. See, all the feelings are in your chest region, your heart region. So, Ooh is your related to your feelings, your Ichha Shakti. When you chant, where do you feel the vibrations the most? In your face region. What is in your face? Your processing unit. This is where you think the most, your thinking capacity, your Jnana Shakti. So, is connected to your Jnana Shakti. So, A to your Kriya Shakti, U to your Ichha Shakti, to your Jnana Shakti. So, all these are powers of you. And then there is one another syllable, which is the most important syllable in the Om. What is that? The silence. You see, without the silence, you cannot really hear anything in life. Only when the sound increases and the frequency drops, then only you know something has increased and something is dropping. You're able to make out. So, Om represents the entire existence, the creation, the maintenance, the transformation, and it all merges into that Parabrahma, that existence only, the Chaitanya only. From where did the sound begin? From silence. Where is the sound ending? Into silence. So, through Om, this entire existence is represented. So, therefore, when you say Hari Om, you are saying, may this entire thing be protected. Means what? May the most auspicious thing, may the one which is following the dharma, may that be protected. May I do only the most dharmic thing. By recalling Hari, you are recalling your ability to conduct yourself in the dharmic way. May I conduct, may my actions be only dharmic. Hari. Hari is the protector of the dharma. When I feel the power of Hari in me, when I conduct myself in the most dharmic way, meaning what? The universal law. When I am following universal law, I will find the power of Hari in me. Then to remind that this existence has so many infinite capacities, I say Aum. So through that whole thing, in a way, you are invoking the entire existence. So this is the significance of Hari Om. Is this making it clear?
Yes,
I know
Vijay ji.
It is already 7 o'clock. Aditi and Anita may have to drop. But before you drop, Aditi, Anita, any questions from what we discussed so far?
No, uncle.
Okay. How about for Namit?
No, sir, I am clear.
All right. Then I'll stop this recording.